Can you hear that? Almost as if several dozen knives are being sharpened as the mainstream media commences their assault on Rumble after having refused requests to deplatform Russell Brand over allegations. Rumble, RNC's livestream partner for GOP debates, is a haven for disinformation and extremism. Because of course it is. Anything that isn't the mainstream media is a haven for disinformation and extremism, even though the mainstream media has probably caused far more of both than any alternative social media platform can do in a lifetime, but details, eh? And of course it gets so much worse, because the government is involved in this as well. Rumble responds to UK Parliament letter to our CEO right here. While Rumble obviously deplores sexual assault, rape and all serious crimes, and believes that both alleged victim and the accused are entitled to a full and serious investigation. Oh, how dreadfully old-fashioned. It is, though. That's the worst part. Due process has become some kind of foggy ideal that we used to have in the good old days. It is vital to note that recent allegations against Russell Brand have nothing to do with content on Rumble's platform. That is true. Rumble is standing their ground after receiving a letter from the Culture, Media and Sports Committee of the United Kingdom's Parliament. Now, to be fair, there are some things going around that suggest this might be Caroline Dinenage acting on her own rather than as a representative of the committee, but until I see this woman out on the street, unemployed and hungry and cold, and after having been put there by a unified United Kingdom Parliament, I am not going to take any dissenter's word for it. This woman, as far as I'm concerned, has acted on behalf of the Parliament because they haven't thrown her out yet. Simple as. And even this. See, this is a veiled threat, obviously. We're also looking at his use of social media, including on Rumble, where he issued his preemptive response to the accusations made against him. We would be grateful if you could confirm whether Mr. Brand is able to monetize his content here. We're just asking, of course, because the government asks. No, the government never asks anything. The government makes demands, and whether or not you have the stones to deny them is dependent entirely on how crazy you are and the legal consequence the government has prepared for you. Speaking of, an online expert, Russell Brand's refugee platform Rumble may be forced offline under new internet safety laws, and failing to cooperate with Ofcom could put Rumble executives at risk of arrest if visiting Britain, it has been suggested. Like I said, the government does not ask anything, and no request from the government is ever free of the tint of coercion. It simply cannot happen. Well, I suppose this was the logical conclusion, because what is happening here, and I said this on the ArchCast as well, and I stand by it, this is the machine. The unified machine, including the mainstream media and the woke mob and their allies in government all over the place, flexing its muscles. It is attempting to Alex Jones Russell Brand. They are attempting to crush him, remove him from the internet, wipe him off the face of the earth, as they did, largely successfully, to Alex Jones. Now, the difference there is, Alex Jones's accusations against him were, in many cases, later on proven in court, as in, they were accepted by the court. Proven is probably a stricter, a little bit of a stretch of the definition, and, well, the conclusions they came to were frankly ridiculous, but again, details, eh? Whereas Russell Brand has merely been the subject of accusations. Not only has nothing been proven yet, criminal investigations have not even started yet. And the man is already getting threatened with arrest, having the platform who defends him thrown off the internet, and, well, for everything to be torn away from him. This is the weight, and again, I cannot stress this enough, this is the weight of an accusation. Not a criminal investigation, not a guilty verdict, an accusation. And obviously, it is entirely one-sided. As I pointed out in the last video I did on this, there are convicted criminals who have YouTube accounts, people convicted of assaulting women, people who have been accused, people who have not only been accused of and proven guilty of it, we have people who have admitted to crimes, still fully monetized on YouTube. But Russell Brand, oh, no, an accusation will suffice. And of course, not even this, not even the potential threat of arrest is going to be the end, of course. They're going to go after Rumble's pocketbook as well, as now several large companies like Burger King have begun pulling adverts from Rumble. Because again, this is a full offensive. This is everything they've got thrown at Rumble, thrown at Russell Brand. This is the grinding gears of the machine attempting to crush him. And there is simply no other way to interpret this. There is no reasonable way to look at this case and see this as the expected consequence of allegations. But hey, I'm preaching to the choir there, aren't I? I very much doubt any of you would view this as particularly reasonable. But what is very interesting here is, this is a watershed moment. If Rumble and Russell Brand are still here in a year's time, then the machine has been defeated. Because this, again, is everything. This is every ounce of its power, of its force being exercised. If they fail now, they're done. They are actually done. Disney is turning away from the woke, or at least it is trying. Netflix already has, as the One Piece series is ample evidence of. It is a show that goes against diversity in virtually every single respect. It fulfills the wishes of the author in almost every single respect, and it goes out of its way to be respectful from the source material. In my opinion, that still just proves that you should watch the anime instead, but details. The waves are turning. I've been saying this for a year now, and this is just simply yet another aspect of it. The woke's time is coming to an end, and as I've also said, they will get a lot more aggressive before they're done, which is exactly what this is. This is the most blatant mask-off moment I think we have seen, where their agents in government itself is moving against an individual. They know they are losing power, and they are going to be ferociously hitting out against anyone now. Anyone who's caught in the spotlight over the course of the next year, 2 years, oh boy, you are going to get put through the ringer. I'm just hoping I won't be one of them. Seriously, this is going to get worse before it gets better. Which is the Online Safety Act, which of course is what they're referencing here. This is a new bit of legislation in the United Kingdom which will introduce more severe restrictions on social media platforms that do things like promoting eating disorder, self-harm, suicide, or violence or some such nonsense, you know, the usual. Violent content material harmful to health, including misinformation about vaccines, will also be barred. And by misinformation, of course, they mean that's exactly as vague as we want it to be, because we'll change it tomorrow if we so choose. Another draconian piece of legislation that is going to eke its way in before the transformation begins, and hopefully will be killed in the next 3 or 4 years when this really starts turning the other way. But we'll see. The government rarely gives up power, after all, no matter how anti-woke it might become. So, in essence, if Russell Brand is still on the internet in a year's time, if Rumble has been able to survive the waves of cancellations, and bear in mind here, Russell Brand and Rumble are probably less vulnerable to this than many and some. Russell Brand is a fairly damn large internet persona, no doubt about it, but he's not one of the true monsters, you know? He is someone whose cancellations could have flown underneath the radar were it not for the excessive amount of force they've had to throw at him. Hell, again, as I've said multiple times, I don't like the guy. But when I see the entirety of the machine attack him, I don't care if I don't like him. He is a person who needs defending in this case. Because otherwise, the machine, again, if the machine can do this to him, what do you think it can do to me? I mean, I would simply just disappear, as would the majority of the people you watch on the internet. If they can crush Russell, they are still then going to know that they can crush 99% of people on the internet. But if he does survive, and the majority of advertisements from stuff like Burger King, etc., are already going into Facebook and Google AdSense, etc., so stuff like that. So the amount of money they send to Rumble is probably a relative pittance by comparison. Now, how much of that makes up the, again, relative pittance of Rumble's budget is unclear, but they should stand at least a decent chance of surviving it, especially as these ad cancellations happen all the time. YouTube has been through, what, like 4 or 5 apocalypses at this point? They cancel to go like, oh, look at us, we are virtuous, we are kind and gentle companies, socially aware. And then 3 months later, could we renew that ad buy, please? We need people to know that we're selling burgers still. Yeah. I mean, it's literally is the case. If only this will actually end. Man, wouldn't that be nice? Sure, again, there will be further cancellations. There will probably be an even more vehement assault at some point in the future, even if this attempt is stopped, because the machine will grow ever more desperate. But this could be the turning point. This could be the final moment where we can look back in history and go, ah yes, this is the person they tried to destroy and failed. Especially as my friend V pointed out as well, the simple fact that YouTube didn't just delete him instantly is a sign in and of itself. They took away his monetization. That is an enormous blow. That is a career-ending blow. That is a life-ending blow. But it is still one step short of outright deletion. It is merely crippling rather than a straight-up execution. It's merely losing all 4 of your limbs rather than your head. And once more, this is kind of a problem that YouTube has placed itself in, where it says that, oh, anyone who harms our ecosystem will be punished, which people immediately pointed out. Again, this is hypocrisy. You have criminals on your platform. This kind of hypocrisy I don't think can last into the new age. I hope so, at least. I hope it'll get pointed out more and more until it becomes social suicide to do it. That is where we need to get to. We need to get to the point where advertisers will pull out not due to accusations of a person on the platform, but rather due to accusations of the platform itself being hypocritical. That is the point we need to reach, and I do think we're heading in the right direction. Naive though I am, as always, of course. Do let me know what you think in the comment section down below as well. If you think this might actually be the turning point, the watershed moment, I think so, I hope so. And if you think that Rumble and Russell Brand will be able to survive the storm. And on that count, honestly, I'm 50-50. Because the assaults, they've only just started. This is the beginning of this shit. It is going to get worse. And on that cheery note, I've been Arch. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.